With Superman 2 on the way, I've had a day to think about it, and my excitement has faded a little bit. And now I'm thinking about the things that could wreck this movie for me. But I do end on a very important note that you need to hear. But first, my concerns. The first one is going to make some of you gun purists roll your eyes. But my first concern is that James Gunn is directing and writing again. I was worried with Superman that James Gunn was in so much charge, had so much power. It worked out well. It did, but there were some flaws for me in the movie, and I fear that some of those flaws will be... Like, here's what happened with Man of Steel, okay? Man of Steel, I liked the movie. I enjoyed it, but I had some flaws, one of which was the character of Superman not fully fleshed out. We didn't really see him, like, doing saving montages. It seemed like he wasn't really locked into who he was. So I thought, okay, well, what's going to happen is Man of Steel 2, we're going to see all that. Man of Steel 2 turned into Zack Snyder's chance to do Batman, which is what he really wanted to do in the first place. And we ended up taking those problems that we had and making them even worse. Okay? So the fear is there that the problems that I have in James Gunn's movie, like... Let's start with some simple things. I really didn't like how much cussing there was in the movie. It was very unnecessary for a movie that is going to attract a lot of kids. I didn't like that Superman wasn't able to do anything by himself. He always had help. I didn't like that he was never fully powered. I want to see a fully powered Superman in this one. Those things didn't bother me in the sense that it made the movie not good. It bothered me in the sense that I worried where the universe was going, if that makes sense, which is how I was with Man of Steel. And it did not go well. But this time, it seems like the studio has more confidence. They're moving forward quickly. The reviews on the movie are very good, which is something that I think WB is always looking for. I have those concerns, but I'm still hopeful. I'm optimistically cautious is the way to put it. I have those concerns. Another concern I have, you guys might not remember this, but we were kind of told that this movie, this sequel, was not going to be Superman focused. And that's why I was saying that there wasn't going to be a Superman sequel. Okay, I was like, we're not going to get a sequel. We're going to get Superman family movies where Superman's part of it. That may still be what this is. We've got Lex and we've got Superman front and center. We got Lex in his war suit. It seems like they could possibly be teaming up. It seems like they could possibly be against each other or a little bit of both probably. But it doesn't mean that Superman is the focus, that it's a Superman sequel. Man of Tomorrow very possibly could not be talking about Superman, even though I know that's his name. But it could be talking about Lex, calling himself that. I don't want a movie about Lex. I didn't like Lex. I liked Nicholas Hoult as Lex, but Lex was a very unlikable character. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like the first season of The Office. A lot of people that I showed it to, the American version, they hated Michael, and they didn't like seeing him on screen because they hated him so much.
I am like Superman.
That's kind of the feeling that I got from Lex. And I don't want to be made to like Lex either. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't want I don't want Lex to be like a main focus. But he may do it, and he may do it well. I don't know. I really also, number 3, am concerned about the fact that we didn't get a lot of Clark. And often what happens with Clark is people say that he's outdated. He's not outdated. They try to make him cool. He was never meant to be cool. That's not Clark's purpose. Clark's purpose is to detract from Superman, to allow him to be able to get in places Superman can't. And we didn't see much of that. Any of that, really. We just saw a little bit of Clark Kent at the office. I want a true Clark Kent, and I'm quite positive I won't be getting more Clark Kent. I think it'll be very little, if at all. And I think that it won't be any of this investigative stuff where Clark uses his reporter skills to figure out where Superman needs to go, like the Golden Age. I don't think we're getting that. I would love that, but I don't think it's going to happen. I know this is minor to some of y'all, okay? I want a saving montage, a day in the life saving montage. Some of you have told me that actually was in the new Superman movie, but it got cut. I haven't looked into that. I haven't done any research or study on it. Why torture myself? But I like to see the saving montages. The kaiju fight was the closest thing, and that was enough for me in that movie. That made it feel close enough to where it was like, that fight is what made me realize, man, they are getting the character right this time. They're getting it down. I love the kaiju fight. The kaiju fight to me, here's the Superman Returns plane scene. Here's the kaiju fight. That's because the Superman Returns plane scene, you can watch that one scene and understand who Superman is. And I feel like the same thing can be done with the kaiju fight. You can watch that one thing and you can understand who Superman is. You get it. This guy, he loves people. He loves the humans. He wants to save them. He wants to sacrifice his ability, whatever, to do what he's got to do. Like, you could tell Superman was trying to save that plane in Superman Returns. It was hard for him. It wasn't an easy thing. But he got it done. And he was trying to save the kaiju and do it in a way that wasn't going to hurt the kaiju. Unfortunately, he didn't get that done because, Mr. Terrific didn't care. I'm also a little worried about, this may kind of go in with one of my first points, about how much he's going to bleed, how much he's going to get beat, how much he's going to struggle. I want to see a full power Superman. When I say full power, I don't mean I want him to be godlike, able to move planets and stuff. But I do want to see him be the one that needs to take care of certain things because they know he can do it. That's kind of how it was in the Golden Age. When Superman fought in the Golden Age, the fighting was never the part that was the concern. It was the investigation and figuring out where the bad guys were. That was the concern. The fighting part is when you know, oh yeah, he's got this. It's Superman we're talking about here. Kind of like you felt whenever he was fighting the Raptors at the end of the Superman movie. It was like, you knew, okay, he's got this. That's how it needs to be with the Superman, with Superman whenever he's fighting. In Justice League, they did the same thing where Superman came up and it's like, okay, now it's over, Steppenwolf. It's like, now it's over. And I feel like if Brainiac's the boss, that could be possible. Lex could get in to do some things with his brain, and Superman could be like, hey, you go take care of this, and Superman does it. That kind of thing could be there, but I don't want to see him bleeding anymore. I don't know why. I don't like the bleeding. The bleeding is bigger deal to me than him being powered down for sure. Also, number 6, will we have a little less high-pitched emotion? Some is okay. I will say the Superman movie, when he got emotional with Lois talking about people going to die, I was fine with that. When he got emotional about the dog, it's fine with that. Okay? When he got emotional at the end with the speech with Lex, a lot of you loved that speech. Me, I wasn't as on board, and I was pleasantly surprised to see that David also had trouble with why that scene was necessary. I felt like, okay, we've already had all the emotion. At this point, this is where you get the bad guy, and you don't need to prove anything to him. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't need to tell him anything. You just need to show him that he was wrong. And I guess in part, that's part of what it was. But I don't know. I do worry about the emotion thing, but it depends on what this movie's about. Number 7. A lot of you are going to be on board with this. I hope we get some kind of new suit. I don't think we will. Judging by the artwork we've gotten so far, it doesn't seem like we're going to get a brand new suit. The only problem I have with the suit, guys, I love almost everything about it. My biggest issue is the bagginess, that loose-fitting texture that it has. Like, it's obviously tight, but it's made out of a thick material that's not spandexy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't have any spring to it. I would like that to change. I'd like it to be more like the artists are drawing the suit, where it actually fits up against them. He did all that work bulking up. We never once saw it. He may as well have just worn a muscle suit. The only thing his bulking need to do was make his neck thicker. Like, that was all really we needed to see, was his thicker neck. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of hope we get that. That's not a major concern, but I want to end on a hopeful note. This movie is not making me super nervous. I just have concerns because, guys, we're getting more Superman. I never understood rooting against this movie just because James Gunn was directing. I never understood rooting against Man of Steel when it was coming. And that wasn't as strong, but it was there. Because, there were some Brandon Routh purists. Believe it or not, that existed. But we're getting more Superman, guys. How could a guy like me not be excited for getting more Superman? I'm absolutely excited. Will they screw some stuff up? They always do. Remember, I'm a Golden Age guy, and I'm an early Golden Age guy. I'm talking like the first 4 years of Superman comics. I love the Jerry Siegel, Joe Shuster, which he didn't draw all the first 4 years, but I love that style of Superman. Ironically, he didn't fly in those days, but I do like the flying. The flying is very important to me. But I'm a Golden Age guy, and I've never gotten my Superman. Not once. Not in Christopher Reeve. I've never ranked a Superman movie as a 9 or 10 out of 10. Partly because I just don't think the movies deserve that. And it partly could be some bias that I don't realize I have, where I'm like, well, it's not my Superman. You know what I mean? But I really am excited that we're getting more Superman, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think. Are my concerns valid? Do you have any of the same concerns? And don't forget to watch another one of my videos.